Welcome, Coven members, and welcome back. We are doing our July wrap-up. How many books did you read this month?
Wait, how many did I read? Oh, I read 6 books.
Look at you. And spoiler alert, I know that you had a 6-star God tier series. I cannot wait to hear about it.
I will talk a lot about it. I'm even wearing sweater to represent.
Ooh. Already got the merch
Mhm.
already.
I had as soon as I finished, my credit card couldn't spend fast enough.
I read 5 books this month and my very first DNF.
Oh, we
Mhm.
have first.
I decided to DNF it today. Not on purpose. I wasn't trying to sneak in July, but anyways, I'll get into it.
Yeah.
So anyways, how many books did you read this month? Let us know down below. So my first DNF of the year was Lights Out by Nevessa Allen.
I'm so upset.
I'm sorry.
This is a crime.
I mean, that's why I made the TikTok the other day that was like, it's not the book's fault. It's me, genuinely. And when I marked it as DNF on Fable, I literally said, it's not you, it's me. I had just finished the Poppy War trilogy, and I'm about to go into Book of Azrael, and so I just wanted a palate cleanser, and I always use thrillers and stuff, or just like regular contemporary romances, so I'm like, let me do some dark romance. I loved Butcher and Blackbird. I thought it was fun. I read Neon Gods, just the first book, but I enjoyed it. And then a Coven member said this book was fun, and that's not how I would describe it.
What, cannibalism doesn't do it for you?
Didn't even get that far.
Oh.
Oh my God!
Then what did you end?
I ended right after he drove her home from the hospital. I only made it, I made it 28%.
Well, okay, I'm not judging, but
Yeah,
I
you
am.
are. It's
I
okay.
am
Go ahead.
judging.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
because if you don't like it, then you shouldn't. You shouldn't force yourself. Like I think that's a toxic trait, not to, like to power through a book that you don't like.
Mhm.
So I understand. But then again, I don't because I did enjoy this book. I thought it was.
You read it this year, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
What'd you rate it?
I think it was like 4 stars. Something like that.
So you loved it.
I did like it a lot.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so so it was my audiobook, which I do have to say the audiobook narrators were very good. I would say like especially Josh. Like it sounded more like a conversation than
Mhm.
like just someone reading to you. You know, he did both of them did a very good job. I was listening to it while I was doing laundry, and I was literally in the middle of folding towels, and she was just talking. The FMC was just talking, and I literally stopped mid-fold of my towel, and I said, I'm so sick of listening to this. I'm done.
Just done.
Done. It was a feeling. You know, there are some books that like I've rated lower, or in the past I've DNF'd. I don't think this is necessarily a bad book. I just know it's not for me. I don't know if I can truly speak about what the book's about since I didn't really finish it, but basically it's about Allie, who is an ER nurse, and then Josh, who is kind of like a hacker, but he works like in the tech field too. Allie is obsessed with this masked man who does thirst traps basically on TikTok. I don't even know if it says TikTok specifically, but I know they do videos. And turns out the masked man is Josh. And Josh has noticed all of her comments and stuff, and he is obsessed with her. And so he decides to take the fantasy they've been playing out online into real life.
Well, if you didn't like it, you didn't like it.
I didn't like it. That's
We
okay.
need suggestions then on other dark romances that maybe Lindsay will like.
So for reference, I mean, I loved Butcher and Blackbird. I
Mhm.
thought that was I thought that was fun.
Mhm.
I thought that was fun. And I have not read the other two in that series. So that's definitely another route I could go, since apparently I am fine with that style.
First book up for me is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab, the goddess herself. Like, yes. We love her, we know her, wish we were friends with her.
Yeah,
Um,
I feel like
she doesn't know it yet, but we are best friends.
she has one of our stickers.
She does, and she liked one of my posts,
She did.
and she talked to another one of our Coven members.
Yeah, she waved directly at the other Sarah. Mhm.
So we're friends. We've already talked about this book, rated it 5 stars, but just to go over quickly, this book follows 3 women, Maria, Charlotte, and Alice. And it's like a span over like 500 years. Maria's in like the 1500s. Charlotte is in the 1800s. And then Alice is in 2019. We follow these 3 women, and they are all somehow connected, and we follow that story. Maria is set out to just go against the whole patriarchal power, and she just wants to be independent. Charlotte is just out to be this good person. She's like a huge empath. And then Alice is just struggling with grief and trying to find herself while going to college. And then wakes up one day and she's a vampire.
Bum, bum,
Bum, bum,
bum.
bum. Yeah, so we just follow these 3 queer women and how they're vampires and how they're all connected. And if you love character-driven stories that are not like fast-paced type of style, you're gonna love this book. If you're more into like a fast-paced environment, then this probably won't be the book for you. I actually really enjoy getting to know characters like on a deeper level. So that is why I thoroughly enjoyed it and rated it 5 stars.
One thing that I know I'd already talked about, but that helped me because I am very much a plot person.
Mhm.
Character driven stories are a little bit harder for me. I immersive read. If you don't know what immersive reading is, it's whenever you are reading the book physically, but then also listening to the audiobook. I can also listen to it faster if I do it that way. I can listen to it at 2 point speed whenever I'm immersive reading.
I thought I was listening to it so fast. It was like I did that and I was at 1.5. I was like, dang, I'm zipping through this. Yeah, it totally gives me, if you know the movie, or if you read Anne Rice, The Interview with the Vampire, it gives that dark but royal spin on vampires rather than the flashy, like modern day style of vampires. Like think Lestat from Interview of the Vampire. That is who I think of when she writes about Maria. It is Lestat, and it's so good.
I finished King of Sloth by Anna Huang. It is book 4 in the King of Sin series, and I really liked it. King of Sloth follows Javier and Sloane. Sloane is Javier's publicist. So it's kind of the trope is kind of they're working together, right? Or he's a
Ooh.
client of hers. They both have hella family trauma. Oh my gosh, both of them.
Mm.
Bad. And so she's a workaholic though, and he is just
Carefree.
laid back, carefree, and they make a deal, and in order for him to kind of not attend this party that she knows is going to be bad for his publicity, he's like, "You have to go on vacation with me." So, and actually like be on vacation.
I could do that.
Yeah, right? Exactly. And of course they go to this tropical wonderland and all that
Oh
stuff.
no.
Yeah, so it goes through their relationship, and they're not on vacation the entire book. They come back home, but it goes through their family traumas and them like choosing to open up to each other and their relationship, and it was really cute.
Mm.
I would say it's like the cutest Anna Huang book I've read, just because like honestly Javier's adorable and Sloane is kind of like way more guarded, and so it was just super nice to see her finally kind of open up because
Mhm.
like it's interconnected standalones, so you are able, like, we've met Sloane in the past, right? So we've kind of seen her and like kind of know what her personality's like.
Yeah.
So, but no, it was really cute. They were adorable. I would say that this is a nod to rom-coms in a sense. So, one of the things that Sloane likes to do is she loves to watch rom-coms, but she hates rom-coms. And she has this
Oh.
journal and she just writes reviews about
I like
rom-coms.
how horrible they are. They're
Mhm.
like, I honestly kind of relate to that. It's like,
Li
this is not real life. You're not gonna just buy me a bag of dogs because I'm sad.
Exactly. For me, it was just the right amount of cheese,
Mm,
but I would not call this book cheesy at all. So, yeah,
mhm,
I really liked it. It was really adorable. Out of all of the King of Sins books that I'd read up until this point, those two characters were the most distinct and I felt like real.
mhm.
As real as a billionaire romance book can be.
I can relate to billionaires. Yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah. So,
That's
but they are what each other needs in their lives. Like
mhm.
she needs to chill out and he needs to put a little pep in his step.
I think we all need that at times.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
what did you rate it?
I did 3.75. I really liked it. I really, really did.
She's the rougher critic.
A little bit.
Mhm,
Yeah. Well, my genre is like fantasy slash romantasy. That's
mhm,
my genre. So anything outside of that, I feel like is just making sure that I'm not getting burnt out on
mhm.
fancy romancy. So for a romance to be 3.75 is like really, really good.
For my next book, it was an ARC read, Of the Stars and Sea by Brianna Remus. If you love Pirates of the Caribbean, which I know you do, I know you do,
Favorite movie of all time.
and The Mummy, which Brendan Fraser, yes, of course, then you're gonna love this book.
Hey,
I know, high
that's a
stakes.
tall order.
Very tall, but it is very good. This book follows a pirate whose name is Rowena, and her father was like this notorious pirate, and he passes away, and with that, he also passes an enormous amount of debt. So Redbeard comes after her and he's like, "Hey, you have to pay all this debt off." And so then she gets roped into having to do all these salacious things to pay off her father's debt, or so she thinks it was her father's debt. There's a lot of secrets, a lot of stuff going on, but Redbeard comes to her and he's like, I have a huge mission. It's going to pay a lot. I need you to go and steal this legendary treasure that is from like the gods. And it is going to be a huge amount. And so she's like, oh, yes, we are in. So her whole crew is indebted to Redbeard as well. So she has this idea of like, you know what? I'm going to take this treasure for myself and then I'm going to be able to pay off all of our debts and then we can be free. Then comes in a moody shadow daddy named Grayson Tide, who's also a pirate. So
Moody pirate daddy.
yeah,
Yeah, it's the new shadow daddy.
you know what? Yeah. Enter in Grayson Tide, of course, is the notorious pirate that is supposed to be like just killing anybody and everybody he can get his hands on. So everybody's scared of him. And then come to find out, he's also after this legendary treasure. Yeah.
So is he giving more Jack Sparrow or Will Turner vibe?
Jack Sparrow for sure. Mm-hmm. Done. Done so. Yeah, so then they obviously get mixed up together. He captures her. She is a value to him. He's a value to her. And they go on an adventure to get this legendary treasure. It does end in a cliffhanger, but
I swear you are a magnet for cliffhanger bug.
literally, literally. Yeah, but I am very excited for the second book. I gave this book 4 stars. It really did give me Pirates of the Caribbean. I haven't really read a lot of pirate fantasy books until this month. So I was digging the whole pirate thing.
All right, the next book I read is The Dragon Republic. I feel like I've been talking about reading the Poppy War trilogy for like months and months, but really only a month I read the books. The Dragon Republic is the second book in the Poppy War trilogy. And I honestly can't say too much about it because it is the second book. It continues to follow Rin on her journey. The war is still happening. It's still going on.
Still happening. Okay.
So, but we have the found family more so aspect in this book. We learn more about the shamans in this book. and we learn about the Dragon Republic.
Anything that has dragons, I'm involved. I'm involved. I'm there.
Yes. And so one thing that I can say about this trilogy and like the book design specifically
Mhm.
is like you haven't read it. So
Mhm.
like you see this, you're like, oh, there's some dragons and a guy with a mask, what like this truly embodies like everything that this book is. But like you just don't realize it until after you've read.
Mhm.
This is also the special edition, by the way. It just came out like a month-ish ago.
Mhm.
So they're beautiful
It's
editions.
so beautiful.
They're expensive,
Yeah.
but beautiful.
Worth it.
Worth it. And I will be getting the Burning God one when it comes out.
Yeah.
So it's not out yet. Also rated this 4 stars just because it's still very sad. And so I just had a really hard time rating it more than that because of how sad it made me. I did not cry.
Really?
I did not cry. Yeah.
Would I cry?
the
Let's
cha- the chances are pretty good that
let's be honest, we just always cry.
you really need to check your trigger warnings before reading this book. Make sure you're in like a happier place in life. Maybe I don't know if this is necessarily a beach read, but make sure we're not like isolated in the dead of winter, maybe.
Mhm.
I'm actually very glad I read this during the summer.
In a happy, yeah, I can go outside and
Yeah.
get some sun.
And I had paired this with the King of Sin series, so I got a mix of
You got
everything.
your spice and your war.
Yes, exactly.
What a combo.
But no, I still highly, highly recommend though. Loved it.
Yeah.
And it's on KU. That's how I read it. I didn't read the special edition book.
Well, we don't want to mess it up.
Yeah, this is the trophy.
The next book was also an arc read, Wicked, Sea and Sky by Jenna Colette. I gave this book a 4.25 stars. Yes. So this one is if you like Pirates of the Caribbean, again, Jack and the Beanstalk, uh, maybe like a little bit of Little Mermaid. It was a whole bunch of like your old fairy tale Disney movies all meshed into one. This book follows Marion and she's a treasure hunter and she also has a huge debt that she needs to pay off. She's wanting to prove to her late father that she can keep their family's house in their name. So she's on this huge big treasure mission and things go wrong, obviously. And then she ends up in prison under the sea. Yes. She is trapped in a prison under the water and is able to get out with the queen's permission to help fight this war that they're under. She's always been drawn to the sea. She's always felt like a connection to it. And she believes that she will be able to help the queen defeat this dark witch. Her next problem is a guy named Gavin, which was also a part of her treasure hunt party. And he's like this really funny, witty, banter, roguish thief. He steals everything and he's like a big brute, but he like the banter between the two of them is so cute and funny. I like physically laughed out loud in this book. And so she feels betrayed by him because she thinks that she's in prison because of him. Yeah, but lo and behold, Gavin is a lot more deeper than just what meets the eye. He's the only one that will be able to help retrieve this ancient ruin for her to help the queen defeat the dark witch. So they just go on this adventure. There's a big giant beanstalk that they have to go up into like another like sky realm. It's really cute. Like the banter between them two, I fell in love with them.
I would like to introduce you to the very first romance I have ever given 5 stars.
That's insane.
This book was so good. King of Envy by Anna Huang follows Vuk and Ayana. Vuk is the CEO of a liquor company
Ooh.
that he founded himself.
Liquor like the drink or liquor like the...
Both.
Ah! Check. I want
Yeah.
it.
And Ayana is a model. Here's the trope. She is engaged to his best friend.
Scandal.
But
Scandal.
it is an engagement of convenience.
Oh,
So
I'm okay with it then.
she's not in love with Jordan, I think was his name.
We don't even care.
Jordan was actually very nice in this
Oh,
book,
we do
so.
care. Sorry. Sorry, Jordan.
So Jordan's grandmother is starting to get sick. And so she asks them to move up the wedding date. And so because she's sick, though, they're trying to hurry up and do these wedding plans. But Jordan has to be there to take care of his grandmother. So who has to go with Ayana to help, do the cake testing and in a different state and all this stuff? Voot goes because, he has a private plane. So they can just get to California in a couple hours and, fly back. And
Who doesn't have a
of
private
course, the huge luxurious hotel only has one room. There's no other rooms available.
plane? One bed?
Yeah, exactly.
I like where this is going.
I've told you in the past how in Anna Wong books, like the guy, there's like a darker aspect to it and it's never explored. It's explored. It is explored, and I love it. It's just so good. I literally was finishing this, and I'm like, this is gonna be a 5-star read. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh my gosh, this.
I need to read this series.
I think you will eat this series up.
Yeah.
I finished this in like 4 days, I think, and it's like the thickest one I think of the series. So these are interconnected standalones. However, there is a particular character in this book that I feel like you have to at least read King of Greed and then King of Sloth to get the full gist, the full impact of what's happening.
I want the fullness of all of it.
Yeah. 5 stars. Really loved it. Their chemistry was cool. That type of pairing is something that that type of pairing isn't one that I see very often. And it was just very fresh. I just loved it.
Okay, good. You sold me.
Yeah.
I'm in.
I'm all caught up. There's only going to be 2 more books.
When are they coming out? Do you know?
No idea. I know that King of Gluttony has been like announced because everyone's like, well, which king is next? I knew King of Lust would be last.
Yeah.
It had to be last.
How can you not?
Yeah. So, but King of Gluttony is next, and we meet the girl who's going to be in King of Gluttony in King of Envy.
Ooh.
So, and we are aware of who the MMC will be. I don't think we meet him, but like if he's talked about.
Okay.
So it's going to be good too.
Ugh.
It's going to be good.
Okay, I need to read them before the next book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you done Twisted series too?
No, I need to read that too. That was like honestly one of the first book series after like obviously ACOTAR, Crescent City, and Throne of Glass. That was like the first book series I bought, and I still haven't read it.
Just like with the King of Sin series, I feel like the first book in Twisted series is the weakest, and then it just gets better as it goes. And that is genuinely how I feel about the King of Sin series, with the exception of like King of Pride and King of Wrath being switched. And it's not that I didn't like King of Pride. It's just I genuinely do not remember anything about it except for who the couple was.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's not good.
Yeah.
And considering I remember the book before it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that wouldn't be. I'm still interested though. We have come to my top 6 tier God series, and I'm obsessed still to like this day, which hasn't been that long, but I will forever remember this series. And I get it. Some people love it, hate it. I am someone that is obsessed. It wasn't the first book for me, but we'll go over the first book first because I read them all in like a span of a week. So The Flock by Kate Stewart. Actually, I first rated this book at a 4-star.
Ooh,
Yeah, so I went back and I rated it 5 stars.
So did you rate it that way after you finished the other books?
Yes, and
Oh,
I
okay.
will explain why. Flock follows Cecilia Horner. She's a 19-year-old girl, and she goes and works at her father's factory for a year. It's her and her father are estranged, and like she hasn't seen him in a long time. But he has said that if you come and work for me for a year, I'll give you your inheritance and your college tuition. And her mom has struggled her whole entire life. And so she's like, I got to do this for my mom. Goes, works there. Very first day, she meets Sean. Yeah. And then so she becomes interested in John. And obviously, he is like the little golden retriever. He is her sunshine. He is funny and witty, and you just fall in love with him. But he has a friend named Dominic, who is the moody. He is a developer, very grumpy, doesn't comes off like he hates Cecilia, just doesn't want anything to do with her. But turns out it turns into a love triangle. However, this is the first I feel like this is why I love this series so much. Is because this is the first time where I feel like as a reader, you typically know the secrets of what the character is going through. So you're not like really surprised, but you're reading their reactions to like all the secrets and betrayal and whatnot. This is the first time where the reader has zero idea. She does not give any secrets away. So you are like, what the heck is going on? They are a part of a secret society that is like a modern day Robin Hood. And she is not allowed or privy to any knowledge unless she like becomes indicted into this group. And I mean, she has big dreams. She's 19 years old, wants to go to college. And so she doesn't really know if she wants to be a part of this group that could potentially ruin her life. But she loves Sean and Dominic so much. So I understand why people don't like this series, especially this first book. This first book, I have different emotions for each book. This first book, so angry. Read your trigger warnings because this book does display like toxic relationships. There's a lot of gaslighting, phone control. Um, it is very toxic. And so you're just like mad. But as the series goes on, you you understand why and you just grow as a person with Cecilia. So I get it. If you can't get past those behaviors of toxic relationships, which I understand a lot of people have gone through, then this probably will not be for you. And I was so angry. I was like, why do you like these guys? I mean, I kind of like them still, even though they were like, they're like not great people and they're hiding all this stuff from her. So it's like, I get it. Yeah, it's like when you like date someone that is mean to you, but you just think that you love them so much, kind of that situation. And plus, again, you don't know anything that's going on. Everything is a secret. So I think that was a really cool experience for me. But I rated it 4 stars because I was like, these men are toxic, and I don't like that whatsoever. If you decide, I read this as like a palate cleanser. I was so many fantasy books, pirates, mermaids, all this stuff. I needed something different. I've had this book forever and I immersive read these two and I feel like that's why I loved them even more. The characters on this book, so good. Loved it so much. But I think what also made it so good for me is not knowing anything about it.
So I finished Poppy War Trilogy, The Burning God by R.F. Kuang. I read the Poppy War Trilogy in preparation for our author event, which you guys will be seeing. We do plan to vlog. We are seeing R.F. Kuang at the beginning of September. Very, very excited. The Burning God was my favorite of the three. I cannot tell you what it's about genuinely because I will spoil everything.
Okay. Well, don't tell us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the one time I remember to start with that.
Right.
Is the one time I'm like, no.
What did you rate it again?
I rated The Burning God 4.75. 5. I was with it. I was like, this is gonna be a 5-star read. I was reading this and King of Envy at the same time. And I was like, oh my gosh, like
Just on all sorts of
yeah.
highs.
I will say, so the reason why it was not a full-blown 5-star read, 3 reason in particular, and I will not be spoiling it at all, but I did feel like it drug a little bit. I felt
Mhm.
like it could have been cut a little bit. It was, and I say that as in, like, it was getting a little repetitive in the fact that, like, we've kinda seen some of this stuff throughout the trilogy. I'm kinda like, "We get it,"
Yeah.
you know? The other aspect, there was a particular group of people that were very, central to the plot of the book, and we finally, like, got to that, and then not that much happened with it. Some people would disagree with that statement wholeheartedly. I just felt like there could have been a little bit more. So
Mhm.
I was a little disappointed in that fact.
Yeah.
And then the ending, I was not upset with how it ended or
Mhm.
like what like the events that occurred. How it ended, I was totally fine with that. I felt like it would've had a bigger impact if it was done a little bit differently. I
Mhm.
guess, like, I had something, and this might be a me thing. I had something in my head, and then it didn't quite happen that way, but, like, when I was reading the scene, I'm like, it's gonna happen," and then it happened a different way, but, like, to me, it wasn't in a good way.
Mhm.
I was like, it would have been a little bit better, a little bit more impactful if it would have happened this way.
Uh-huh.
So that was a me thing. So it literally, and that was almost like, I think there was like one chapter after that scene and then it ended.
Huh.
So I was kind of like,
Mm.
yeah. But I mean, still 4.75 is nothing to be mad about. It was a phenomenal book. It was beautifully written. Highly recommend.
Next book I read was Exodus by Kate Stewart. This is the second book in the Ravenhood trilogy. When I say that a book will live with me forever, I will think about it forever, it is this book. This book is probably the reason why it is God tier series. I went back and rated the first book as a 5-star. This book, the emotion I got from this book, devastated, but like in a great way. So this book picks up from the cliffhanger, and Cecilia is introduced to Tobias. And Tobias is the head guy of the Ravenhood. He is upset with Sean and Dom for hanging out with Cecilia because they do not like Cecilia's dad. The whole point of the Ravenhood is to take down big, super elite rich people that are corrupt and like taken away from the hardworking class, which is so cool and kind of relatable. Sad things happen in this book. It is devastating, it is heart wrenching, but Cecilia and Tobias have this really flirtatious banter, even though he doesn't really like her because of who she is. He is French, and this is exactly the reason why I have started learning French because of him. I know. I have a problem. I have
Is that
dual.
why Duolingo was on your phone? I
Yes.
was wondering why.
I have started learning French. So a lot of heartbreak, a lot of betrayals, a lot of secrets still going on. You get some answers from this book. But the main thing is just the heartbreak and the growth that they're starting to go through. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just one word, it's devastation. I bawled my eyes out. I'm not kidding you when I say I stared at a wall for 15 minutes when I finished. I ate this book up in 24 hours. Also, immersive read, I highly suggest listening to these audiobooks just because the people that narrate them brings the characters more to life. And also Tobias speaks French, so there's some parts where he's speaking in French and they do translate it right then. But like if I was just reading it without immersive reading, I would have just skipped over those.
The last book I read in July is Her Soul to Take by Harley LaRue. Her Soul to Take is another dark romance, again, trying to do the palette cleanser before I started Gods and Monsters series. Ray has come back to her hometown. She is finishing up her last year of college, and she comes across Leon, who she thinks is like a security guard at her college. Guess what? He's a demon.
Ooh.
Yeah. But basically, there's like this murder that happened on campus, and everyone's kind of like, what the heck's going on? She has a friend already there, but like she introduced to two of the siblings of like one of the founding families of the town. And, she's like, oh, cool, I'm making friends. And then Leon's like, you need to stay the heck away from him. Well, it turns out that their dad has his grimoire, and so he's controlling Leon to do, like killing that kiddo on college campus and stuff. So it's about him trying to get his grimoire so he can like be free. He's been in their service for like a couple hundred years, I think, at this point. She's just trying to go to college. She's just
Mhm.
and she's also a paranormal investigator. She has her own
Ooh.
YouTube channel. She has a cat named Cheesecake, and he's adorable. It's them, getting to know each other and, maybe being with a demon isn't that bad after all.
I don't disagree.
um, when I think of this book, I kind of split it into 3 different parts. Or yeah, so the first third really had me interested. I kind of love that small town murder mystery kind of vibe. Then the middle third is where it kind of lost me, and
Mhm.
that's when I was considering DNFing.
Mhm.
I was on the fence. I was like, I don't know, because it was just kind of, to me, a lot of plot had been described, and then nothing happened with the plot. And it was smut a random scene, smut a random scene, smut a random scene. And it was those random scenes, nothing was moving
Yeah.
forward in the plot with it.
Mhm.
So that's where I was kind of like, okay, if we're not trying to figure this out. And then the last third, then like the plot really picks up, but at that point I kind of lost the caring part. I did skip some smut scenes towards the end, and I did skim quite a bit towards the
Ooh.
end.
That's rough.
I mean, honestly, it ended fine.
Mhm.
The best way I can describe this book, if you have ever watched Riverdale.
I love Riverdale.
I love Riverdale too.
Yes.
I do.
Okay.
This book is like Riverdale in a book. It
Mhm.
really, really is.
Mm.
So, but yeah, really just that plot kind of dropping and then picking back up. That's the part that just kind of lost me. So
Okay.
that's really the only reason why it's not like, oh, I loved it.
Are you gonna continue the series?
I don't anticipate continuing the series.
Mm.
It is the same. I do find it interesting that it is called a trilogy, because I think a better description of it is interconnected standalones.
Mm.
Because a trilogy to me is one continuous story.
Yeah.
But like Leon and Ray's story is done.
Mhm.
There was no like loose threads or anything. And the couple that's in the next one, yeah, we are introduced to them, but we kind of already get their backstory. So I'm sure the second book is just like how they kind of get together.
Yeah.
There was nothing in it that made me go, oh, I have to figure out this. So I have to,
Yeah.
So I don't plan on continuing the series.
I love Harley LaRue. Have you read their Loser series?
Mm-mm.
Chef's Kiss. You might not like it, but just for anybody else out there that likes a good smutty book,
Yeah.
Losers, so good.
I mean, I love a good spicy scene. I have no problem with that.
This is a lot of spicy scenes.
Yeah.
And
I have to have a decent amount of plot. I am a plot driven person. That's just how I am.
it has like she was their bully and then they take revenge. If that's plot enough for you.
Oh, okay.
Last up for me in the last book of the Ravenhood series, The Finish Line. Again, love this book. The emotion that this one gave me was happy, but still devastated. Everybody kind of broke up at the end of the second book, so it kind of skips years down the road. And so this book is a blend of like the past and the present. revealing a lot of secrets and then finally being able to explain everything. And I think that's why I love this one so much because it gave you like closure. Although, was I still sad? Yes. But I was happy at the end. So it just is how all of them make it to the finish line, which
Mhm.
is just such a good like title of a book. It just I loved it so much. I don't want to go too much into it because again, like I said, if you read this series, don't go into like looking what besides of what I've already said. Don't look more into it. Going into it blind is so good. You don't want any spoilers because it just takes away from all the emotions, from all the growth, from it's just really relatable. Tobias, I love him so much. I think that I loved him more because of the audiobook than other people do, but he is such a relatable character for, like, all the sacrifices that he has given up for his family and for the greater good of the people that he loves and cares about. So, so good. Highly suggest I will suggest this book. I think I might suggest it more than Agatar. I will also put it up there with it is as good as not I don't Throne of Glass is my favorite series of all time, but this is also my favorite series of all time, but for different reasons. Throne of
Mhm.
Glass is like a masterpiece of like fantasy and a fantasy realm. This is a masterpiece that is realistic and
Mhm.
one that you can relate to. It's about people that you love and you don't have much time to spend. So just cherish every day.
So for August TBR, just rapid fire, what are you thinking that you're wanting to read in August?
So for one of my books, I want to read The Wolf King. I'm currently reading Blood and Betrayals. I'm like a fourth way through and I'm already loving it so much. I'm wanting to read the trilogy, The Shades of Magic by V.E. Schwab.
Yes.
Yes. Our book club book, Project Hail Mary.
Mhm.
I also want to read Empire of Flame and Thorns. And then for my last book, for our book club series, is the Book of Azrael.
For August, Project Hail Mary. Follow along on Fable if you would like to read along with us.
Mhm.
And then also I started Throne of Broken Gods, which is the second Gods and Monsters after Book of Azrael. And then I'm gonna go ahead and power through and do Dawn of the Cursed Queen, which is the third book, because the fourth book is coming out in October.
Mhm.
That's really all I have planned because those two Gods and Monsters books are massive. And so I just genuinely do not know if I will have how much time I'll have. But that's kind of all I'm planning on doing right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So let us know what you plan on reading in August. Let us know what you read in July. And thanks for joining us, guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.